Welcome everyone to Daily Distraction here on Fightful.com. It is a Tuesday, I think. Days I don't think exist anymore, Joe.
No, I thought it was SmackDown tonight about an hour ago, so that should tell you where I am. I have no idea what's going on. But yes, definitely. It's definitely Tuesday. I can confirm you're correct, Jeremy.
Sources are telling me it's
Yes,
Tuesday.
definitely.
I am Jeremy Lambert, joined as always by my co-host Joe Hulbert. Joe, it's already been, I don't know if it feels like it's been a busy week, but we had Ricky Starks on the show yesterday.
Yes.
Former NWA television champion Ricky Starks joined us. Everyone check out that interview. Went about 40 minutes with Ricky. Very open and honest in everything he talks about. Talked about finding out he's going to win the NWA title, working with Trevor Murdoch and Eddie Kingston, meeting The Undertaker and having barbecue with him and helping him train for a Mania match against John Cena a couple years ago, wrestling a broom, video games, Ricky hates sports. Like we covered a bunch of things in the 40 minutes. Ricky is a great person, very charismatic, and so hopefully people check that out and take a liking to him.
Yeah, my only fear is that it might set the bar a little bit high. That's my only concern because we're still early in the daily distraction thing, right? And early on, we've had an actual wrestling star on the program, and now we go back to our bracket. So this could be a big drop off. We'll see how it does in the ratings. You know, we're always trying to win the war. We've forgotten about it, Jeremy, right? It's a different war now that we're daily. Very different war altogether. But we're always trying to win it.
WWE is counter programming with us
Yes.
with all this news that they've been dumping. Like we did the show last Thursday, and like immediately after our show, they're dumping this news that we're gonna air past WrestleManias on ESPN, and it's like, all right. I mean, that would have been something cool to talk about, but no, just take away from our show. They did the worst one was the when they fired Barrios and Wilson after we'd already recorded.
Yes.
They
That
fired
feels
them
like
like an hour or two after recording. Like, hey, new distraction in an hour talking about Lacey Evans and how I don't remember what Lacey Evans was doing. Probably the same
that
thing
feels
she's
like
doing
a
now.
real long time ago, man. That really does.
Everything feels like a long
Yes.
time ago right
I
now.
long for the days that was a headline. Them getting fired. I mean that with all respect to them two people. I just it was a different time.
We
Business has
didn't
changed.
we didn't businesses change, plans change. We didn't have daily distraction a week ago, and I feel like we've been doing this show for 2 months.
Yes. When I was saying it's early in the process, I didn't realise how early it was. It's literally like the third day of it. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's a game changer. But I think we can use the old mania topics for our regular show tomorrow because based on Raw, Jeremy, we ain't gonna have much to talk about. Okay, so we'll save that, note it down, and we'll return to our regular programming for that one.
Thursday, we will have our regular show where we put 5 minutes on the clock and discuss everything that's going on, and we'll have some WrestleMania talk. And really, that's
Yep.
it.
Yeah,
That's about it. Some AEW talk, I guess. Since
I guess so. Yeah.
yeah. So we'll talk about that, and then Friday we'll be back with another daily distraction where we're gonna talk about the WWE March Madness bracket, which we're gonna get into today. We unveiled the brackets last Friday. If you want to go back and listen to that show, you can go inside the mind of Joe Hulbert and how he managed to upset everyone with how he seeded certain superstars. And we did our first round preview. Voting happened over the weekend since Friday. So if you missed out on voting, what are you doing with your life? You don't have anything better to do right now but vote. This is the only thing you're going to be able to vote in this year. All the elections are going to get canceled. So this is your only voting
Yes.
this year.
This has been a very insightful process, Jeremy. I've actually not got much abuse, which I'm very thankful for. The number of votes have been quite startling and are very scary because I think it's not our audience in any way, shape, or form. But you warned me of that. There's a lot to be learned here, which we're going to get into, obviously, when we look at the bracket. And there's some big matches coming up, Jeremy. Big matches coming.
Very big matches coming. So we're going to get into things right now. Again, we broke things down into the SmackDown, Raw, and Women's region, and NXT. Let's not forget them.
No, you can forget them, Jeremy. Don't worry, everyone else does. Don't worry about it, man.
We broke things down into the four separate regions. Joe picked based on essentially who's gotten TV time, even though he left out Dana Brooke and Tamina criminally. Tamina's going to be in WrestleMania, and Joe has Ruby Riott in there. Ruby Riott's not going to be on WrestleMania.
Sure, but no commission would sanction a Tamina title match. They've done some shadiness there. I don't know how they pulled that one off, but yeah, you are correct. How did I not see that coming? Everyone should have known, right?
So Joe seeded them based on TV time, and voting happened over the weekend. Voting is closed on the first round, so we're going to take a look at the results right now. We're going to begin with the Raw bracket. If you're watching on YouTube, the bracket will come up on the screen. We're going to disappear. The bracket will come up on the screen so you can see how things have played out. And there you go. There's the Raw bracket. So first round, we had Brock Lesnar just destroying Eric Rowan, 91% to 8%. Not much of a matchup there. Pretty expected on that one.
Yeah, I mean, as we go through this, the Raw region, I would say, has got a lot of talent, but there was not a ton of surprises here, as we're going to get into. But yeah, Brock was a lock here, right? Poor Eric Rowan. I don't know if he deserved to be the 16 seed, but he was, and unfortunately it went as you'd expect. I am interested, though, in that 9%. I want to know if you're one of those 9%. Tell me. I understand being frustrated with Brock, but that feels like a step too far. So I would like answers. That's going to be a common theme. I want answers from people.
Do you think Eric Rowan's spider would have done better against Brock?
Yes. Yeah, 100%. Because people just vote, and it would have been funnier if it just said Eric Rowan's spider. Maybe I should have done that, right? That would have been an idea, actually. We'll never know now because he'll never get in it again. So, unfortunately, that's just a missed opportunity we'll have to forget, I guess.
The 8-9 matchup, Andrade beats Rey Mysterio 57.1% to 42.9%. Maybe a slight upset, but no real upsets in 8-9 matchups.
Yeah, a lot of people were upset about this one. They felt I was very mean for making this. 8-9's the hardest one, right? That should be the one that's the heart wrencher. There's a couple others.
Except in the women's division.
Yeah, well, we know about it, Jeremy. We're going to leave that there. I'm going to leave that comment on the table, okay? We'll get to that when we get to it. But this sets up an awesome match, right? Andrade Brock. Is this a match we need to see, or is this a match that would make me upset?
I think Brock's going to win. A lot of momentum behind Brock right now. Andrade, I think the WrestleMania announcement actually hurt him of here's this random tag team title match that he's just getting for when it looked like they were going in a completely different direction. But I guess Ray's quarantined now, so they had to plans change. I think Brock's going to take this. Andrade, I was a little surprised he beat Ray, so it's possible that he's got enough to possibly be. I don't know. I don't see it. I think Brock's taking this.
Look, we both agree that as a talent, Brock is great, right? But we also very much enjoy the Bill Goldberg experience. And as we're about to get to, that was a very different outcome. So this will really test how unpopular Eric Rowan is. There's a lot of answers to be found out in this Andrade matchup. Because if this is close or Andrade wins, Eric Rowan really is. He needs to reconsider what he's doing. Because it's a poor showing in the bracket from him. But it's a good matchup, definitely.
WWE should look at this and see, maybe we shouldn't have these people on TV. They didn't do anything in these.
What a surefire way of doing things that would be.
They're going to book based on the distraction March Madness tournament.
Yes, that would be very smart. I agree.
5-12, Randy Orton beats Ricochet 68.3% to 31.7%. Ricochet just poor timing on this one. Orton with the Edge feud completely killing it. Ricochet, he shaved his beard.
Yeah, I mean, I have to talk about this a little bit, Jeremy, because I felt a while ago like I was the only Randy Orton fan in the world. And now, every popular wrestling account on earth is posting his cool RKOs, his cool promos. Everyone loves him. Best heel in the business. So this was always going to happen. But I get it. Everyone wants to be on the bandwagon now, right? Because, he's doing cool empty arena promos. But yeah, you're right. Timing killed Ricochet here. Randy Orton's doing the best stuff he's done in years, and Ricochet is doing he's doing that stuff he's doing, Jeremy. There's no more to say about that. I've gone enough on that topic, but yeah, this was expected, I think.
Kevin Owens beats Buddy Murphy 81.9%, 18.1%. Yes. This was not close.
No, and I believe my caption was upset alert.
Yeah, it was.
Which I had good luck with that as a caption choice, and I'm going to keep running with it until. But yeah, that was I was actually shocked that it was that wide. I know people love Kevin Owens, but I guess Buddy Murphy's now just a part of the fabric. Right? I guess people don't care anymore. I don't know. It was weird. Maybe it speaks more to Owens.
I think cruiserweight champion Buddy Murphy stood a better chance than disciple Buddy Murphy.
Yeah, so do I. But I guess he would probably say, well, that's the way it should be. He's a heel, but who cares at this point? You know, I mean, if he's going to be in the. Oh, there is no battle royal, Jeremy. Oh,
We,
what's
we
it?
should we should do. I don't know how many options you can put up on Twitter. We got to do a second place game at the very least.
Yes.
Yeah, we can throw people in this losers battle royal. We got to fill out. We got some time to kill. We got to fill out some cards here. Get everybody on the show.
Yeah, this is a very good idea. I like this a lot. Definitely. I like that a lot. That's noted for sure.
This is essentially how every idea we come up with goes. Is we message each other like 3-4 hours before the show starts, and it's like, hey, are we gonna do this? And it's like, sure. And that's all we talk about it.
Yes, yes. But to be fair, the execution could be a lot worse. I mean, it might not be perfect, but it could be worse, right? We could have full-on disasters going on here. I only forgot Liv Morgan and Lana. This could have gone a lot worse, this particular idea. So I think we should carry on with our process. It seems to be working, or it works for me anyway. I don't know if it works for the audience.
Kevin Owens and Randy Orton in the second round. That's big time.
That's the perfect 5-4 matchup, right? You just can't split them. I think as good as Owens has been as like the de facto top babyface of Raw, I guess outside of Drew, Randy's form is to be feared here. I'm not sure. This is going to be real close, I think. This could be one that goes down to the wire.
That Orton promo on Raw was really strong too. Made a strong case for him winning the second round. I don't know what else he was building, but I thought he built his second round matchup with Kevin Owens very well.
Yeah, I mean, the same amount of people are going to be in attendance for these matchups. So at this point, I mean, he may as well just drop a line in about this bracket. He may as well to me. It makes no difference, you know.
AJ Styles defeats Samoa Joe as a 6-11 matchup, 65% to 35%. Not too shocking. Joe's been off television for a bit, and even when he was on television, he was stuck in the kind of grouped in with a bunch of different people. Styles is always kind of a featured guy, and Styles has been doing really good work in this Undertaker feud as well.
I mean, these are both great, right? But I was interested in asking if both of these guys are on the draft board, okay? And you haven't got to worry about age or health or any of that business. Who are you taking for your roster?
I'm probably taking Samoa Joe if I'm not worried about age, health, anything like.
Yeah.
If I am worried about like, we're talking current form, right? Not like all-time form. Okay, yeah, I'm taking Joe in that instance, but AJ has become a really strong promo in WWE.
Yeah.
I tweeted last night like he joined WWE, became a great promo and a bad wrestler, and I don't know how that happened, but it seemingly did.
Yeah, I mean, I always find that part interesting with Joe because I often sit and think like, who is better than Joe? Like outright just better than him, all round. Very few guys, right? And it speaks to him that both of us are like, we'd probably take him over AJ Styles. I mean, as you say, AJ's doing some amazing stuff promo wise. I agree that the in-ring is a little bit less it's a lot less. It's sort of dynamic and dramatic and explosive, but. Yeah, I think it's always an interesting part with Joe, but timing is what it is, man, and he just always felt a little bit outmatched here.
Seth Rollins defeats Rusev, similar to AJ and Joe, just where these guys are at right now. 69.3%, 30.7% for Rusev, so Rollins moves on. I think Rusev had a chance a few months ago, but not being on television lately, just no real chance for him.
I also think Seth is an example of one of these guys that like people are so consistently criticizing that I forget has a ton of fans. And I don't even mean that as a knock on him. Like it just happens. It's gonna happen a lot on this bracket. Like you see so much criticism of these guys, the guys that are featured all the time and pushed, and it's like if they're pushed and featured, that means they're definitely gonna have a ton of fans. Other than some exceptions, which we will get to. Seth Rollins is a guy that there are still a lot of people that like him. So yeah, this wasn't a huge surprise to me, but I think you're right. Rusev's just total absence. I don't know what the deal is with Rusev, right? Like, does anyone have any clue what's going on there? He's just vanished, I guess.
It's reported contract because he hasn't re-signed. He says he has a back injury. Who knows what the real story is at this point? But whatever it is, he's not on television.
He's certainly not.
So Styles and Rollins in the second round. That's a good matchup right there as well.
Look, I'm going to be honest. I want AJ to go through. The Monday Night Messiah thing is very good in every way, but I just don't care about any of it. So I'm pulling for the people to do the right thing again. They did it so far for me anyway. But this is close again. The Raw side. Raw's got a nice roster, right? They've done a good job. Most of the guys are not in a worse position than they were when they got put there, which is a big benefit. We'll get to SmackDown. This roster's pretty good, and we've got 4 good matchups here. And this one actually could be the closest of all of them, I think.
I think this one will be Orton and Owens is going to be close as well. This is another one where both guys are coming off strong promos building this match on Monday's Raw. I thought Rollins' promo was great, and I thought Styles' promo was great. It's amazing how these WWE promos are better at the Performance Center because they're just like talking normally and they're not like yelling scripted lines. It's funny how that works. Some
of the solo ones I think are worse, but when you have an opponent to talk to, like Seth did, it is so much better, right?
Yeah.
Like, because he could just clearly speak one-on-one. It was like a press conference. It was better, but I think that was the best promo Seth's done in like, best one I can recall, to be honest. I thought it was great, but yeah. This is going to be close. It wouldn't surprise me if Seth took this, Al.
All right. I don't know if I'd be surprised because I'm with you that Rollins, like, I feel like many on our timeline is just like Seth Rollins sucks. Seth Rollins is not cool. But there are people that aren't on our timeline that like love Seth Rollins.
That love him, so, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Alistair, you predicted. You know what? They did steal from the Distraction WWE March Madness bracket. Alistair Black and Bobby Lashley. This is a WrestleMania match. We know the result. Spoiler alert. Alistair Black wins.
Yeah, I mean, I think we know that result in every way, shape, form, regardless of show. But yeah, I must say this was a bit of a crusher one for us. I mean, I don't know if you got to the percentages there, Jeremy. They were very sad for me and you.
It's 89.7% for Black and 10.3% for Bobby.
I mean, you got to ask questions about the people voting at this point, right? I mean, I'm with them on most of this stuff, but surely Bobby gets a 30% share of this one, right? What's the deal with the Bobby hate? I don't get it, but Alistair Black's cool. He goes through. I don't think he's lasting much longer, though, to be honest. I think the next round's probably where his run ends.
No, yeah. Drew McIntyre crushes Humberto Carrillo. 93.5% for McIntyre, 6.5% for Carrillo. We all saw this coming.
Yeah, and Black Drew, I'd say, is the lock of the Raw region on this round, right? I would say so. I mean, Black's got fans, but Drew is he's building steam, and Alistair Black is leading to like a cold match with Bobby Lashley. So, a rematch, I should say.
Yeah, it's not a cold match. It's a big time rematch taking place at WrestleMania.
So yeah, I'd say that's the easiest one to call out of those 4.
If WWE tries to build Black and Lashley as the first time ever, I'm gonna call them out on it because it's just
cease and desist.
Yeah.
I agree.
That is the Raw bracket, ladies and gentlemen. So not too many surprises. I think the biggest surprise out of this region was probably, I think I expected a little bit more from Ricochet and Joe, and maybe Mysterio I thought was going to beat Andrade, but I voted for Andrade, so I'm not too surprised to see him win. Any like big surprises that stood out to you?
No, I thought this one was the most. It was probably the easiest to like piece together when I was doing it, and I think it came out pretty much as I expected. I agree with you that I thought some of them would be closer, especially the Joe one, but I guess we spoke about it last week, right? What the reasons why it would be this way. So I'm not super surprised. This roster, I think, is actually in very good shape, and I didn't realise it fully until I put together a fantasy bracket, Jeremy, which should tell you the level of effort I put into covering the show. But yes, I thought it went as expected.
We'll move on to the NXT bracket now. Again, if you are watching on YouTube, it is up on the screen. First round matchup, Adam Cole, Lio Rush. Not much to this one. Adam Cole, 92.4%. Lio Rush, 7.6%. I still think Cameron Grimes would have stood a better chance.
This, I must say, I mean, I don't want to wrap up this whole thing here, Jeremy, but this region was no fun. There's no fun here, no fun in games. Just everyone, the status quo. I thought there was Upset City oncoming, but there was none. Absolutely no fun. But yeah, Adam Cole, this was what it was. You're probably right. Cameron Grimes' hat probably did have a better chance, but some things had to be sacrificed. I wanted Kushida on there for his 30%. I just wanted to represent that 30% of Kushida voting, and when we get to him, so Lio Rush was here because he was here. I have no more to say.
Because you didn't
This,
want to put Cameron Grimes there.
yes, exactly. And, this was what it was. We end up with what we got here. And NXT is a strange place with a strange fan base that apparently has no hot takes. All of the top guys are the top guys. I expected some kind of contrarian stuff going on, but there was none of it. I must say, I was impressed actually by how in order it was on the NXT region.
Matt Riddle defeats Pete Dunne 62.4%, 37.6%. Not too shocking there.
No, I think we kind of concluded last week, right, that Riddle, they're both great talents, but he's more popular in the sense that people have him as like their favourite guy. I think everyone likes Dunne, but I don't think it's quite the level of fandom.
So we got Adam Cole and Matt Riddle in the second round. I could see Matt Riddle taking this.
Yeah, I think it's very hard to be champ for 15 years like Adam Cole has been and still be like super popular. So he could be in danger here. We could have an actual upset on our hands in the NXT region. Riddle could go super far here, right? Riddle could actually represent NXT, I think, on fan voting.
Keith Lee against Bobby Fish, another just slaughter. 86.8% for Keith Lee, 13.2% for old Bobby Fish. Not much to this one.
No, this was what it was. But, the tag guys, I was stunned by Bobby's partner more than this one. But this one was to be expected. Keith Lee's a tough matchup for anyone.
Finn Balor beats Angel Garza 75.8%, 24.2% for Garza. I think we tried talking ourselves into Garza standing a chance. And, I mean, he didn't do bad compared to the other lower seeds, but NXT Balor is a very popular guy.
Was this my second upset alert tweet?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
It was actual upset alert was your caption for this.
So good to see I can read the audience there. I really was on. Yeah, but I was convinced he had some kind of chance, but I guess not. You're right. Again, it goes to that thing, right? Some people might be on our feed sometimes, but like, Balor's, he's kind of stale, he's boring, he's this, that. I liked Finn Balor. I thought this was pretty hard to vote, but everyone else seemed to, or the consensus at least, found it pretty easy. So, yeah, Keith Lee, Finn Balor's a pretty fun one, right? That's an interesting one. I think Keith Lee is the favourite, though.
Keith Lee, Finn Balor is definitely a fun one. I think Keith Lee's the favourite as well, but Balor, again, NXT Balor he's different than main roster Balor. Main roster Balor would get killed. NXT Balor, people really enjoy. So, but I think Keith Lee. It's weird with NXT. I don't know who has any momentum as far as like television wise on NXT right now, except Gargano and Ciampa, because they spent 3 hours talking about their feud on the last. And people look. We got a new episode of NXT tomorrow. This is your chance, everyone. I don't know when the NXT voting is going to happen, but if it doesn't happen until after your show, go out there, cut a great promo, have a great match, prove to the audience why you should move on in the Distraction March Madness tournament.
Who on the NXT staff is delivering that speech, you think, tomorrow? Is it Terry Taylor, or are we going bigger? Are we talking Shawn Michaels?
I think Shawn's delivering that. Like Shawn's go out there and steal the show. I mean, that's Shawn's whole thing. So I think Shawn's rallying the troops and letting them know, look, this is your last chance to try to go through into the third round.
Yeah, I mean, and he's right too. Okay, there's a lot on the line here. There's a lot of stakes. There's a lot of pride here. I think it's pivotal that someone of Shawn's stature reminds the talent what is on the line. This is a lot reputation-wise. This will go down on your record forever, right? This victory, this loss, you can't erase it, Jeremy. This isn't just a match on Raw. This is an actual bracket here we're doing on the podcast.
6-11 matchup. This is one where we thought maybe the lower seed actually did have a chance, but Velveteen Dream moves on over Kyle O'Reilly, 66% to 34%. I mean, the best lower seed showing outside of Riddle and Dunn, which doesn't really count, of anybody in the bracket, but even still, Velveteen Dream moves on.
I have never seen anyone say anything remotely negative about Kyle O'Reilly, and I was convinced that it would lead to, at the very least, some form of 50-50. But Velveteen Dream, I see criticism, but his style is such that he will be someone people truly love, or maybe hate sometimes. But people love him, and I don't know if that's the case with Carl. I just think people think he's awesome and they move on, kind of thing, right? Like that's what it is. It's a passion thing.
Johnny Gargano defeats Kushida. You had to have Kushida on there, and he represented well, I guess. Gargano wins 77.2% to 22.8%. You know what? Kushida actually did fairly well, considering I didn't expect him to get even 20% of the vote.
Kushida's very good, and everyone that voted for him is very good, and that's all you need to know about this. All I'm saying is to the audience, I'm looking at the matchup underneath this. Do not let more Gargano Ciampa take place in our bracket, please. Just step in either in this matchup or the next one.
Dream and Gargano in the second round. That's a strong matchup. That Dream could pull off the upset here.
After the showing against O'Reilly, I'm actually picking it. Jeremy, I'm picking it. I think the Velveteen Dream is going through here.
Oh, God. You're going to caption the poll with upset alert, and then everyone's going to vote for Gargano.
Yes. This will be happening a lot. This will be a common theme. Upset alerts not being upset alerts in the end at all.
I mean, it's just like the actual March Madness where the experts go on there and they're like, I love that. This is my upset lock right here. And then the team gets blown out by like 30 or something. You should reverse psychologize. I don't know if that's a word, but you should try to pull reverse psychology on people and be like, oh, should be an easy win for the top seed here. And then they're gonna be like, I'll show you, Hulbert, and then they'll vote for the upset.
I don't want to make this a competition between me and the people voting. Definitely not. But what I will say, I must say this. I mean, I have been producing features, Jeremy, for quite some time on Fightful. And last week you said, do the poll on your Twitter, Joe, and we'll give you a boost. And I thought, oh, this could be very bad. I don't know why I've been writing features. I should just be doing polls and getting people to retweet them on the Fightful account, because my numbers are going through the roof. People don't want to read stuff. They just want to click vote and follow, right? That's it. I'll figure it out. More polls coming.
Roderick Strong 7-10 against Dominik Dijakovic. Roderick Strong wins 69.4, 30.6. I'm a little surprised Dijakovic got that much. Not that he's like bad or anything. I thought Strong just had way more support than he did, and it makes me worried about the next round matchup as far as how he's going to fare.
That was exactly my fault. I feel he's done. I feel this is the end of his run, which is very sad. I wanted Roddy to go far, but at least he made it this far. They did the right thing in that sense. The next matchup, I mean, I actually think Roddy would have a better chance against Gargano than he does against Ciampa. But that's just not how the bracket works, Jeremy, unfortunately. So here we are.
Tommaso Ciampa against Damian Priest. Ciampa easily wins 90.5% to 9.5%. Ciampa moves on to face Strong. And yeah, based on that first round, I think Ciampa is going to move on once again. And Roderick Strong has a small but kind of like loud and reliable fan base. And Ciampa's fan base is just much larger.
I'm proud to be in that loud and reliable fan base, but we have no chance in this battle.
So that is the NXT bracket. As you said, pretty straightforward. The only real, 9/8's not an upset, and pretty much all of the top seeds won, kind of going away. There wasn't anything that close on this, so not much going on with the NXT. We got some good second round matchups though.
We do. I mean, they're easier to care about. I'll say that much. That's my praise for them. They're much easier to care about. I think we're going to have some close ones. I hope so anyway. But this was the least interesting bracket, I would say, unfortunately, or region, unfortunately.
We move on to the SmackDown region now. Begin things with Roman Reigns against Shorty G. Reigns wins 67.7% to 32.3%. Shorty G with a good showing.
Yes, either that or Roman with a concerning one. I'm not sure which. But I must say, and me and you have laughed a lot about SmackDown, bless its heart, since moving to Fox. Very funny show. This roster is hilarious. There is no one on this roster other than the two people that I happen to put right against each other that everyone likes. And that is an incredible feat, and I want to praise whoever did it. But yeah, in this case, this should be a lock, and it was. But as we get into things get a little bit wacky here on SmackDown. So we'll start with something that's kind of understandable, it's rigid, and then it gets a bit wild.
Sami Zayn defeats Jeff Hardy. Another 9-8 upset. Like 9-8. If you're looking for upsets, that's where you go.
Yes.
57.2% to 42.8%. Zayn wins. Not too surprising. He's been good lately. Hardy's been away. I thought maybe Hardy's just overall fan base would kind of boost him there, but Sami Zayn and the more recent television appearances probably, and Zayn has a strong fan base as well.
Yeah, I think this was somewhat to be expected, and also the percentages being tight didn't surprise me, right? We said Jeff Hardy's fan base was super strong, but someone who's on the fence, Sammy's just been doing more recently, so that wasn't a surprise to me.
Now we get into things here. We have a 12-5 upset, which, I mean, if you follow the NCAA March Madness, every year there's a 12-5 upset. This one, we'll talk about the circumstances here in a second, but Drew Gulak beats Braun Strowman 61.7% to 38.3%. The timing on this, your
Yes.
tweet was timing is everything, and you were just referencing, hey, Drew Gulak's on television, he's teamed with Daniel Bryan, like Strowman just lost the Intercontinental title, he hasn't really been seen since then, maybe Drew Gulak pulls this off. But literally as this poll is going on, Braun Strowman makes some not so smart comments about independent wrestlers and saying they should find better jobs, more secure jobs, whatever it is that he said, and everyone turned on him. And I think that was a big factor in this voting.
Yeah, I mean, this is an incredible feat for Drew Gulak, right? I mean, just 2 months ago, we could have just finished it. We could have said no career left for Drew in WWE. Bless his heart. Great run. Not really, but he tried his best. He's had some fun PowerPoints. Farewell. One program with Daniel Bryan later, and I'm looking at him. I think he's going to win the thing, Jeremy. But unfortunately, the next matchup, we have an Elimination Chamber rematch, right? So that's going to be tough for him. But it's still an incredible feat for him. And I guess poor Braun is probably not the best way to phrase it, but definitely timing was everything here, definitely.
Braun's got to be smarter that he knows the poll is going on.
Exactly.
You can't make these comments. Wait until the poll is over. You can't make these comments in the middle of vote. This was self-sabotage.
He should have saved it for his post-game interview after he'd been eliminated, right? He should have gone that and just got it all off his chest then and left the villain. But instead, he gave himself no chance. That was a major error. You're correct. Definitely. Poor tactics.
Daniel Bryan defeats Mustafa Ali, 88.4%, 11.6% for Ali. This was a rough draw for Ali, and I thought he'd do a little bit better. The power of Daniel Bryan is something else right now.
I mean, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but that percentage makes me think that this is Daniel Bryan's winning this thing, man. This is Daniel Bryan winning that heavily against Mustafa Ali is terrifying for everyone else in this competition. That says a lot about him and how great he is generally, how great he's been recently. It is very much a Joe Hulbert move to put the only two people that everyone likes on SmackDown against each other, but that's just the way it is, right? Daniel Bryan looks like he's in a really good spot here. Moving on.
I think we skipped over the second round matchup between Reigns and Zayn, so I'm gonna reverse course.
Oh yes, correct.
Roman Reigns, Sami Zayn, that could be a close one because I'm with you that the showing for Reigns in the first round doesn't inspire a lot of confidence.
No, I'm going to say it, Jeremy. Upset alert. I'm going to say it. I'm throwing it out there. I think this could be a dangerous one for Roman. I think Sami. Everyone likes Sami, right? If you're one of those people who's bored of Roman, you probably like Sami. Everyone likes Sami to some extent. So I think this is very, very dangerous one for Roman. He's got to be careful here. And if he does get through Sami, Daniel Bryan he's rolling his way through underdogs at that point, right? We're looking ahead. This is going to be a big time run. So yeah, I think be wary of the upset. It could be close though, definitely.
Bryan and Gulak in the second round, so friends collide here. Gulak, look, I don't think Daniel Bryan is gonna get on social media and be like, you know what, fuck the coronavirus, go outside, shake a bunch of hands. I don't see that happening. So what would Daniel Bryan have to do to get the people to turn against him?
That is a big question, right? That's a real big question. He would definitely have to do something opposite All Elite Wrestling. I think he would have to, this talk right now about WWE copying the camera angles used on Dynamite.
Yeah.
I think if he took a firm stance against that opinion and really went all in on it, right? Like called the All Elite guys like fake play wrestlers, then I think we're starting to get somewhere. But Goulet would have to play his part. He'd have to stand up for the All Elite guys. Then we're getting somewhere.
See, I agree with you that if you go against the AEW fan base, then you're correct in saying like you've got to go all in. You can't just say like, hey guy, like Hurricane Helms was like, yeah, ROH has been using that camera angle for years. Like you can't just say no. Yeah, you can't just say ROH has done it for years. Like WWE house shows do it. You've got to really go all in and just be like, Cody's neck tattoo is, well, if he calls that terrible, people will probably be on his side. But you got to take shots at Luther. You take shots at Luther, and then the people are turning against Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, there's a lot of work to be done though, right? I mean, I don't think I'm going to be posting this too far away, so he's going to have to get on it if he plans on sabotaging himself to that degree. But definitely, basically become Jim Cornette, and I think he's out of this thing. That's what I would say, basically. That's my advice to Daniel Bryan, if he's watching, or when he watches, is you're going to have to go to that extreme, definitely.
I mean, unless you want to win, then just keep being Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, I kind of forgot the purpose of the tournament there, I think, for a second. Yes.
Well, yeah, but Bryan's a guy who just wants to put everybody over, so that's why it's possible. He just like,
Gulak.
Yeah.
Give him his win back, I agree.
Sheamus against King Corbin. Sheamus wins 70.1% to 29.9% for King Corbin. I think we both like Corbin. We're in the minority. We're very much in the minority.
This is a massive indictment of poor King Corbin, right? Like, I like Sheamus. He was a feature topic for me not long ago, but my God, Sheamus winning 70% over someone. That's a real feat because he's done nothing interesting since coming back. So, yeah, I mean, that was impressive on Corbin's part. But he'll probably take that as like a badge of honor, right? No cool moves. He's done it again. He's won again. We hate him, Jeremy.
Yeah,
he's won it again.
We should tell King Corbin that he'll use this to generate more heat. I mean,
oh my God.
Imagine
him bringing this up in the empty PC. Vote for who you want.
He's gonna get on SmackDown on Friday and just be like, you people. He's gonna cut the "you people" promo. You people voted for Sheamus. Sheamus doesn't even have a match at WrestleMania. He got 70%. That's who you're voting for. I'm main eventing.
I think you should be. To be honest, Jeremy, I think with that kind of direction, SmackDown can finally take the upswing we've been waiting for. I really do. That's the kind of blurring the lines that we need, definitely.
The Fiend against Cesaro, very close one here. I feel like Cesaro was leading with just hours remaining, and then the Fiend made a strong push at the end, but the Fiend wins 53.8% to 46.2%. Not looking good for the Fiend moving forward with this kind of voting.
I agree, but looking at his next opponent, I think he's in a pretty good spot. Cesaro, people like, so this didn't surprise me. It's close. People are kind of soured on the Fiend thing, but you are right. It switched back and forth, I think, a couple times.
Sheamus and the Fiend, I am torn on. I don't know. I think the Fiend is so cold right now. Maybe the program with Cena helps him and has turned him around a little bit. Meanwhile, Sheamus is doing literally nothing, so
yeah,
and maybe that helps him. But I think people just like Sheamus, and people just enjoy like social media Sheamus and stuff, and that.
Okay.
I think this is going to be close. This is my upset alert.
Wow, upset alert. Yeah, okay. I got to be honest with you. The Fiend promo last week on SmackDown, or however many weeks it was, I don't know, Dream. I'm losing track of all this. Whenever he did this promo in the ring with Cena, I think is the first thing I've enjoyed of his in a very long time.
That's
so
fair.
For me, he's as warm as he's been in quite some time. So I felt like this was pretty easy to pick, but you've now convinced me that Sheamus is some kind of social media presence. So I'm suddenly less sure. But I'm sticking with the Fiend. I think he's fine to make it in the next round.
Kofi Kingston beats Shinsuke Nakamura 54.2% to 45.8%. Close, but I was actually surprised at how close this was. I thought people had soured on Nakamura more than they apparently have.
I agree with you. I think we both overstated that, and I think we both understated how much some people disliked Kofi's title reign, right? Like, I had no real problem with it. I think some of the feuds were just doomed to fail for a range of reasons that weren't his fault. But I do think there's a lot of people that are like, that just proved he's a mid-card guy, and they're happy to move on. I noticed that when he lost it to Brock anyway. So that may be a factor as to why this was close. I'm not sure.
Elias beats Goldberg. You had very odd potential upset for this one, and you were correct.
Yes.
This one wasn't all that close. 62.1% to 37.9%. People don't like Goldberg. That's the only conclusion I have here.
It's weird. I had put the resentment against Goldberg in a similar bracket to the feeling against Brock, and I can confirm they are not the same thing after seeing these results. People hate Goldberg. I mean, this is wild. I'm not an anti-Elias guy, but I think he has been truly like intolerable since coming back on SmackDown. I've not enjoyed anything he's done. So the idea that he beat Goldberg, I'm not sure there's a person on the whole board that could have lost to Goldberg here. I honestly don't. People are just done with it, I guess.
Braun against Goldberg would have been a good one.
WrestleMania 20. Definitely.
So we've got Kofi and Elias. I'm looking at the bottom of the half of this bracket. I think we're destined for Kofi and Bryan part 2.
Wow, that would be a big time matchup, right? It was great at WrestleMania. I'm in on that. Did we ever get a rematch to that match?
Yeah, they wrestled like the next night on Raw, I think. Or
oh wow,
like during the wild card. Like it was literally like it was part of the wild card. They had Kofi and Bryan, 2 SmackDown guys, wrestling on Raw.
I may actually have to watch this because I'm not sure I ever saw it. I probably did. I don't know. We'll get to this another time. This is a different show we're doing now. Matches we've forgotten on Raw and SmackDown.
That would be a long show.
Yes, it would. It would be the longest show.
I think Kofi is going through. I mean, Elias, I think that's more of an indictment on people hating Goldberg than it is on people liking Elias. So I think Definitely. Kofi is winning this matchup.
That may be the easiest second round matchup to pick, I would say. Kofi Kingston versus Elias.
Yeah.
I mean, that feels pretty simple.
Let's move on to the women's bracket now. The final region here. The women's bracket, starting off Becky Lynch against not Lana, not Liv Morgan, not Tamina, but Ruby Riott. Becky wins 83.8% for 16.2%. Pretty obvious call. Ruby didn't do bad. I thought Becky would be in the 90s, but Ruby had a good showing.
Yeah, Ruby getting... I mean, it's crazy we're talking about that amount like it's a lot, but Ruby getting that amount interested me for the next round, which obviously we're going to get to the next matchup in a second. But we explained the Ruby thing. I mean, I'm with you. Ruby's done nothing, right? I like Ruby. I wanted her to be represented here in some form or fashion, but this was just never going to be a close matchup ever.
Tamina would have done better.
Of course, she's a title contender.
Yeah, what is Ruby Riott doing? The 8-9 matchup where Joe just completely like we know the idea behind this booking, okay? Let's not sugarcoat this. Joe gave Alexa Bliss a first round bye against Lacey Evans. Alexa wins 88.7% to 11.3% with Lacey Evans.
Okay, a question here, because I legitimately don't know. Does this suggest Alexa is more popular with people voting on wrestling Twitter polls than I realised? Or does this suggest that Lacey Evans is, second to Goldberg, the least popular wrestler on the whole thing?
I think it's both. I think Alexa is very popular. Everyone makes very nice comments towards her, and I don't see any nice comments towards Lacey. I think it's a little bit of both. Look, Joe, you rigged this tournament to give Alexa the first round bye.
This is not true, okay? And if I did do such a thing, I would have put her on the side of the bracket, did not include Becky Lynch, okay? Because I'm looking at the matchup underneath this. It looks a lot more friendly for Alexa. But it's time for me to do the right thing, Jeremy, I think. Becky and Alexa, I understand what the people have got to do. Everyone else on this sheet here, I can do the butt promos thing. Not really a fair argument against Becky. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to stand down the troops, Jeremy. I'm going to do the right thing.
You're going to vote for Becky?
I can't vote, but I would vote for Bayley. I wouldn't. That's a lie. But I'm encouraging people that I'm not putting any pressure on anyone to do anything that would make me happy. I understand the decision that needs to be made, and I'm leaving it at that.
Bayley defeats Naomi in the 5-12 matchup, 68% to 32%. I thought Naomi would make this a little bit closer.
Boy, I tell you, that Naomi momentum that she had for like 6 days after the Royal Rumble. And we were sitting here and everyone was saying they're saving it for Mania, they're saving it. And then next thing I knew, she was getting beat by quite a distance against Bayley in the March Madness bracket. I don't know where it went wrong, but it certainly did at some point. This actually surprised me a lot too. I thought Bayley was in real trouble in a fan vote against Naomi, but I guess not. Strange.
I think Bayley's promo on SmackDown, that was a strong promo by her. Do you remember this promo?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Where the 6-pack challenge match was made official with Paige appearing via Skype. This was a good promo by Bayley. A lot of people called it the best heel promo she's cut. So, you know what? That put her. Look, ladies and gentlemen, these promos you're cutting on these empty performance center shows, I don't know how they're helping you in WWE. They're big time helping you in the March Madness bracket. That's what matters.
Was this the promo where she did an English accent? Or am I totally...
Yes, I believe so.
Okay, in that case, no comment. Carry on.
Maybe I'm wrong. I don't have a strong memory of this promo. I just know everyone said it was very good.
Okay. Fair.
I'll take everyone's word for it. Shayna Baszler defeats Carmella 68.9%, 31.1%. I was completely wrong on this one. I thought Baszler was a huge upset. You put another weird potential upset, and no, maybe our timeline clearly is not an indicator of what the mass is like.
Yeah, I mean, this one was definitely my own bias too. Because I think if someone else had tweeted this out and I was just going through the options, this matchup I may have just left unanswered. NA, move on. That's what I probably would have done here. So I had no clue what people were going to do. I see some people seem to like Carmella. Apparently people like Shayna Baszler. That's all good. I'm happy for everyone to be happy here, Jeremy. I've got no problem. I was surprised it was this wide. And it sets up Bayley versus Shayna, which is like... Before the Naomi matchup, I'd have said, I have no clue. But I guess Bayley's going to win easily. She beat Naomi. This feels like a lock.
I don't know. Like, Baszler's showing in the first round has me just second guessing everything. Like, I really don't know at this point.
This is definitely not as intriguing a matchup as Becky and Alexa in any way, shape, or form. But here it is: Bayley versus Shayna Baszler, a rematch of something they did, right? Didn't they do something in the Survivor Series business?
Yeah,
something
Shayna she pinned Bayley in the match.
Okay. You're right. That's why I ranked them this way. Thanks for reminding me. Yeah. So, you know, it is what it is. It's fine. It's fine.
Sasha Banks defeats Bianca Belair 57.9%, 42.1%. Fairly close as we figured, but Banks has got the main roster boost, and that's more than more people are watching SmackDown than NXT. That's breaking news for everyone.
I mean, this does say a lot about how popular Bianca Belair is, though, right? Like, this is a good showing.
Very good showing. I mean,
the suggestion that I may have rigged earlier parts of this region, Jeremy, on one side of the coin is that, and then the exact same coin, you flip it over and you see this matchup. A lot of people have a lot of theories about me doing something sort of untoward here. And I want to make it clear I did nothing. I did nothing unfair. I was very upfront about this. But this speaks very highly to Bianca. But Sasha, I actually think this will be a hardest... Or saying that, the other matchup's kind of tough there. This region's pretty good, right? I'm not sure. I was going to make a hot take there, but I no longer have the hot take. This was to be expected, but it was actually closer than I thought.
Do you think Bianca would have beaten Shayna Baszler?
Yes.
I think so as
Definitely. I think she beats almost everyone on this side. I honestly do think that. Based on what I know, Sasha Banks is like as popular as it gets on Twitter. So... I assume if she got that much against her, she would have won against almost everyone else on here, other than a couple exceptions.
Yeah, this was a good showing by Bianca. Look, in the battle royal, I would look out for Bianca.
Yeah, exactly that. Definitely. Be wary. She's here to stay.
Rhea Ripley defeats Kairi Sane 57.8% to 42.2%. Good showing by Kyrie. I do think Rhea has lost some momentum as of late. I don't know if this speaks more to just the people like Kyrie Sane, even though she's been injured since like December, or the people have cooled on Rhea Ripley because her in December, she was at the top of the mountain. It felt like.
Yeah, you said to me last week, you was like, I'm not sure if it's just people love Asuka. It really is what it is. And I think you may actually be right upon reflection looking at this, because I thought she had a real chance. She came close though, I guess. So, yeah, the Rhea Ripley thing's weird. I'm not sure. I've been watching all of her stuff recently because I'm writing about her, and I can't figure out if I'm still as high on her as before, and it's just like the natural kind of she's not as hot as she was before because she's now here to stay, I guess. But it definitely feels like there's been a shift of some kind, and I think it puts her in a pretty bad spot against Banks in the next round.
Yeah, Ripley against Banks. I don't know if she didn't do this great against Kyrie Sane, then I don't like her chances against Sasha Banks.
Yeah, I agree. It looks like it looks like a tough matchup.
Asuka against Natalya, 91.1% to 8.9%. Joe wanted to know if you voted for Eric Rowan. Please show yourself. I want to know if you voted for Natalya. Please show yourself.
Yes, and I want full explanations. Not just one. Not just a tweet. I want a tweet of a notes section screenshot of a full apology / explanation as to what happened here. But this was almost as one-sided as you expect, right? This was a tough matchup for poor Natalya. I'm not sure she was beating anyone here, which is mean in so many ways, but that's not my problem. That's not my fault. Okay, I'm just telling you what I expect the people to do. So, yeah, this was never going to be close.
Charlotte Flair defeats Nikki Cross 71.2% to 28.8%. Good showing by Nikki considering she's kind of second fiddle to Alexa and Charlotte. There's a lot of backlash against Charlotte, and I think that came to light here even more.
Yeah, and I think it means that her run is not going to go much longer, right? I think Asuka is.
I think she's screwed against Asuka. They made a mistake. This is going to hurt Charlotte Flair. They made a mistake replaying that WrestleMania match on Raw last night because it just brought up the bad memories again. And people are going to see this and be like, no, Asuka should have won then. She should have won last year at Mania when they took the title off of her as well. It's not looking good for Charlotte. There a lot of people against her. WWE put her in a bad position with these replays. If she has more power, she should have nixed that and been like, this is going to hurt my stock in the bracket. But she didn't, and not looking good for her in the second round against Asuka.
Yeah, this is definitely a case of momentum, but it feels like we've been here with Charlotte for a long time. Every once in a while it will swing the other way, and then like the consensus will become, hey guys, she's actually really good. And then it goes straight back. She'll beat someone in a match that she shouldn't win, I guess, in people believe anyway. And then it goes back to being this. I can't fathom what the reaction will be if she beats Rhea Ripley. I feel like things are going to get very nasty very quick.
Yeah, if she loses to Rhea Ripley at Mania, I think people are going to be like, oh man, Charlotte, she's actually good. And if she wins, it's not going to be good.
Exactly that, yeah. It's just an ongoing thing. It never seems to change with her, which makes sense because like the programming never changes with her, right? It's the same. She's going to be doing a title feud regardless, so I'm not surprised.
Charlotte has to have great matches and like always lose, and then people recognize how good she is. Because if she wins, she won't get the recognition. They'll just focus on. It's similar to Roman Reigns. They'll just focus on like this person keeps winning. I'm sick of it.
I always remember people used to be like, Charlotte is what like haters say Roman is, and it would always make me laugh because I'd think, man, I'm pretty sure Charlotte gets enough hate on her own, right? I don't think she needs to be kind of getting this deflection stuff. Everyone seems to be giving Charlotte criticism, so. This is the end of her run. I think Asuka's going to be hard to beat.
That is the women's bracket. That is the entire bracket. First round completely done. We move on to the second round. Polls will be up. When's the first poll going up, Joe?
I think it'll be up tomorrow. That's what I think I'm playing in my head. We're going to pair Raw and NXT and then SmackDown and the women. So if that will be Thursday, the SmackDown and women one. Tomorrow will be Raw and NXT is the plan. It could change. It probably will. But that's the plan.
Oh, not good for NXT. Oh, maybe actually. Yeah. No, it actually is because the poll will be running after the show, and then they'll have Thursday morning. Okay, the timing is good for NXT. Actually, the timing is good. We had Raw, so that works out. So it'll be fresh. The NXT stuff will be fresh after Sean gives them that big speech. The NXT stuff will be fresh for the
brass ring can still be gained. It can still be taken.
That's right.
You just got to take the moment.
That's right. So we'll be back on Thursday with our actual show. No show on Wednesday, but our typical distraction show on Thursday. And then Friday, we will recap the second round and look ahead to the third round and talk about some other stuff because I don't suspect we'll have too much when it comes to the bracket. As the field starts to dwindle, we will have to fill time with other happenings in the world, which there's not a lot of.
No, it's that's gonna be a real challenge, right? Filling the topics in, that'll be the real tackle.
That's right. So again, if you have topics, please suggest them to us. We're more than open to listening to the audience, getting topic ideas, and going from there.
Anytime we'll listen to the suggestions. We may not use them ever, but we will listen to them. That's all we can do, right? We'll read them. We'll listen to them.
You can follow Joe on Twitter at JoeHulbert5. More great features coming out. The Drew McIntyre feature is out. Everyone check that out right now up on Fightful.com. Follow me on Twitter at JeremyLambert88. Again, check out our interview with Ricky Starks. That is posted on the site right now. I've got some Joe made me do extra work with the questions he asked. So I've got some articles coming out from that interview as well that everyone can read. But Ricky Starks, check that out. Support him during these times. Support anyone you can during these times. Support yourself by staying inside. Wash your hands.
Yes.
Take care of yourself.
Good message, Jeremy. Yeah. Well done. I agree.
We'll talk to everybody on Thursday.